Hey guys, welcome back. Well, in last week's live feed, guys, I promised you guys kind of an update of what was happening with the farm. There's been a lot of changes, and honestly, I had filmed a whole pile of footage. I may use some of it as kind of B-roll that'll follow along with this, or kind of follow the narration. But I just thought there's just so much footage to try and sift through, I thought may as well just go out and just quickly do it again. So a lot has changed. This compound's changed. There's so many things have changed, even just since doing all that filming. But I thought, hey, let's go and do it quickly, give you guys a full update now that spring's upon us. It's still a little bit cold today. We're right around 0 right now. I think we're about 1 degree below 0, which is freezing. The water in all the horse troughs and all the animal troughs is still frozen, so we had to bring it out by buckets this morning. So let's get the sun's out. It's gonna be a good day. Let's take a peek. We drove about an hour and a half. One of the top breeders in Canada is Terry Decock, and she runs BBS Ranch. Exceptional asset for people that are into breeding Kune Pigs. And we finally got a chance to go out there and visit with her and pick up our stock. And we brought home 3 in the back of our van. Coming up with names for the new animals that come to Outnumbered Acres is always a fun process. This bright orange and black one, this beautiful female, my wife named her Cheese. And obviously the black giant boar, clearly regal. So that is Lord Vader. And the long curly blonde hair, looking just fabulous. Well, that is the lovely Miss Betty White. It was a noisy trip. My wife and my father-in-law were with us. You can hear one of them behind me. That's Cheese. We're going to introduce you to Cheese right away. She is the most vocal Kune Pig we have ever had.
Oh yes, Grace. Oh, there you go, Peggy.
The beautiful ladies just sitting back and enjoying the sunshine. Hello, ladies. And now for our boar. This handsome fella is named Vader. And I gotta tell you, this is about this point in time where everything kind of went bad, and it all went bad because of him. Our big orange jerk, Chewy. Apparently Chewy took offense to the new black boar being in his enclosure, and he relentlessly kept chasing him. Being the size he is, and knowing the boar had never ever seen a cow before, let alone one with giant horns, he didn't like him being in his enclosure, so he kept pushing him around. So the problem we were faced with is this whole new paddock, this whole new section. We set it up with the pigs that we already had here, and the new pigs didn't know. Apparently they didn't read the manual, but we set this one up using barbed wire and a hot on the bottom and a hot on the top. And when Chewy was kind of pestering him, Vader didn't know what to do, so Vader ran underneath the wire and was out on the street. And that caused all sorts of problems, because I don't know if you've ever tried catching a pig before, but it sure isn't easy. Harriet's in heat, which is why she's pacing the fence. So what we had to do then is we had to make a kind of a quick little separate compound. And you can see what we kind of had to do here out of pallets to kind of contain the girls and the boys separately, because we don't want any unplanned breeding. And we wanted to be able to introduce the animals properly. But we also had to scramble, and we had to figure out what we were going to do. So we ended up going back to our local store, PV Mart, and we ended up getting 3 more rolls of goat wire, which is this stuff here. And the goat wires worked really, really well. When it's stretched, it's nice and taut. They can't lift it up with their nose, and it makes for an exceptional fence for the boars to be testing. Now, this side of the fence only had the barbed wire and the hots, and this is where the females were at the time with the babies, so we couldn't put them in there until we made this adjustment. So we ran this on this side here. It's on a 4 inches inside the post, so it gives us a lot of space in between, so it controls any sort of unwanted breeding, like Harriet right now is wanting to breed. We definitely do not want that to happen. The back already had goat wire. The other side had more like a page wire. It was a much thinner wire, and it was definitely not designed to have a boar attacking it or pushing on it. So we had to change that side as well. And then while we were at it, we changed the two sides on either side of the gate. And once that was done, we were able to move Harriet and Luna and all the babies into that shed with the larger compound, and we brought the boars over into this side. And then we've got Vader, Percy, and Gilbert all together. And again, that wasn't without struggles either. So after Vader's jailbreak, this is the compound that we had to end up making up. We were able to wrangle him up all the way up the driveway and coerce him up there and put him into the van. And then we were able to bring him over here after we built this little section. My father-in-law was here to help us. We used a bunch of pallets, wire, rope, gates, whatever we could find to build a little compound. So there's Vader's compound, and then Cheese and Betty White were behind him. We stacked up all the pallets to reinforce that lighter wire. And finally, everyone was contained. So here's our makeshift gypsy compound from the other side. As you can see, it was built out of whatever scraps we could find, but it served the purpose until we could get such a time we can get all those fences changed and repaired. And then we could move Mum, Harriet, and Luna and all the babies over onto the other side, and then we can get everybody set up. Everybody was healthy and happy. We did end up with a bit of weather. We're still early, so we did end up with a couple of snowstorms in the mid, and everybody was just fine. There's Cheese. Betty White in the background. They're just relaxing. Looking good, Cheese. Look at that happy pig. And there's Betty just soaking up the sun rays. Looking good, Betty. But boys will be boys, and we had to introduce the three boars, and the three boars we knew automatically would have to have kind of like a little squabble to kind of see who would end up being boss. We thought Vader would be the boss right away just based on size, but Percy and Gilbert have been together for a long time, and Gilbert, the orange one, he's definitely the boss of that pair. So they had a few little squabbles, nobody was hurt, and they're all happy boys now. But Vader is an exceptional boar. Absolutely exceptional. He's probably our friendliest animal that we have on our farm. He just wants to be with you all the time. He's just an absolute treasure. Aren't you? Yes. The Dark Lord. And you're going to produce some beautiful babies one day. Well, moving day finally came. Harriet, Luna, and all their babies moved over. Everybody's healthy and happy. The boars moved over into their enclosure, all with all the new fencing. And as expected, the boys had to have a little fight, see who was going to be boss. Not really sure if Gilbert won or if Vader won or if they just accepted each other. There's Percy. He don't care. Hey, Betty. Betty, get out of the way. We got to get the tractor going through here, Betty. What are you doing? Betty. You was a big girl, you know. So, that's enough adventure for us for a little while. Everybody's in their new pens. All the fencing is done. Everybody's healthy and happy. We couldn't ask for anything more. So as always, my friends, till next time, take care. Stay safe.